the first thing that sort of caught my eye, John, was something you put out about this DARPA scientist sort of. I'm going to throw it to you here so you can break it down for us. But basically, this DARPA scientist coming out and I don't know, not necessarily predicting, but saying that there's some sort of planetary invasion by aliens. Am I reading into this right?
Yeah, basically, yes. There's no way to sugarcoat what she wrote on three different occasions. So yeah,
What
planetary
and
invasion was her language.
yeah, exactly. And I'm going to bring up those screenshots here in just a moment.
Yeah.
But how did you? This person is a DARPA scientist. How did you meet her? Like, how did she contact you?
Yeah, well, just like the Lockheed story, I give my email. On pop, I've done like 40 podcasts in 4 years. I give my email, and just like the Lockheed and a lot of other really interesting people, I got an email from her about a year ago, and it just said, "I caught your podcast and really interesting, and I just wanted to show you my essay on the extraterrestrial phenomenon." I am a scientist with a master's degree. I thought she had PhD, master's degree in electrical engineering. I have been for 20 plus years working with various scientific departments and agencies that also did work in conjunction and association with DARPA. And I can tell you, it's a really scary agency. And that kind of caught my eye. She sent me a studio portrait from her job of her, and she's retired, a baby boomer, just a nice lady. I kind of equivocate her to the telepath's wife, the alleged S4 telepath's wife. Salt of the earth. If you were on Martha's Vineyard, you'd see this woman coming back from the farmer's market with her cut flowers and a fresh loaf of sourdough bread, and her son had on just right. You know what I'm saying? Like a
Yeah,
regular woman in her 60s, high class, classy, educated,
sure.
And so when this BBS facility, which probably we'll get to right after this, this Linda Moulton House Psalm Recovery Manual for Extraterrestrials that was written, we think, in the 50s and 60s. The one thing for 10 years no one can figure out is the facility where they took living extraterrestrials called OPNAC BBS 1. Okay, so it reconstituted in my brain. So I decided, I'm like, look, this woman has scientific background. She's been with a bunch of agencies. Maybe she knows about BBS 1. She didn't, which I love, because you love whistleblowers, Patrick. You love people that could, be, hoaxers. When they tell you no, or I don't know, to me at 57, that rings a bell of, okay.
Well, looks like. Oh, he's back. He's back.
Okay.
Okay.
When they don't give you the answer, they tell you, I don't know. That to me rings true.
No, no, no.
And
Okay, real quick. Let me just recap
sure,
so make sure
sure.
everyone understands
Yes.
this. So this DARPA scientist reaches out to you about some other things, right? She's just telling you things, and you decide to ask her a separate question about something else you're looking into,
Right. A
right?
year later.
Okay,
Right. A year
got
later, I
it, got it.
recontact her and said, hey, I give her name as Jill. Could you help me with this? And the whole
Let,
UFO
let's
community. Go ahead.
let's start with just the DARPA part first, and then
Yeah.
go into the response.
Smart.
You
Yeah.
emailing her the second time. So
Right.
let's
Right.
focus on this right here, which is her message, her first messages to you, right?
Yeah.
This is it. Something I took
Well,
from
now
your.
this is the first message when I recontacted her.
Oh, got it,
Yes. Which was
got
about
it,
a week ago. Yes. Sorry.
got it. Okay, so this is her reaching back out, responding to you,
That
reaching
is
out to
correct,
her.
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So she says, "Hi, John. You're welcome to make any use of my material you like. The reason I prefer for now to keep my name confidential is for family reasons and to stay under the radar in general." Okay, I totally get that. So
Yeah.
look, I think the real one is this message right here, right? So this is what she left at the end of. Is this her original message, or is this the message to in the reply you got?
In the second reply, when I contacted her about the facility, this was her, I believe this was her first reply message to me. That was the end
What
of it
was the
right there.
first message she sent to you? Like, what did she say the
Well,
first
I
time?
told you that 3 minutes ago. It was, "Hi, John.
Oh,
I
sorry.
caught you on the blah 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 podcast. I don't remember what it was. I really enjoyed what you had to say. You asked the people to contact you. If they had anything relevant with your investigation. Here's what I've done. Here's what I know. I'd like to send you my essay, which I personally did on the entire phenomenon." And that was it.
Got it.
Sent me a
Got it.
studio picture
Okay.
of herself, her work history. Yeah,
Okay. Sorry. I
no problem.
misunderstood.
No problem.
Okay. There's a lot of threads here
I
we're
know.
pulling
I
on.
know.
And you're living it. So I'm the audience right here. Right. So, okay. So, because I also don't kind of know what's going on, which is good. I'm going to figure it out here with you, which is great. So this is in her reply to you, and this is, I think, what caught the eye of a lot of people, right?
Oh, and me.
Um, and you, of course,
Yes.
right? Anybody that would read this, right? So it says you should look into DARPA. They're the top of the research food chain. Working with them was scary. I'll tell you about it sometime. But what they do goes way beyond deterring the Russians or the Chinese. Of course, they can't come right out and say their ultimate purpose is to repel a planetary invasion that is currently in progress. That's too serious of an issue to raise until have some sort of solution to offer. And when that time comes, it will obviously have to be carefully controlled. Cheers. Cheers.
Right. See, I am so glad you caught that. And it was like, cheers. And I'm sitting there at my table reading my iPhone going, doing the side glance like, okay. I guess I'm not going to plan that honeymoon or that second honeymoon to Greece with my wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, holy shit.
Oh man. So yeah, I mean, right
Oh
here,
my
right.
God, I'm so glad you caught. I'm
She,
so glad you caught that. Go ahead.
of course.
Sorry.
So she's basically insinuating, and tell me if I'm wrong here. I'll steelman it back to you. She's basically saying DARPA, their ultimate purpose right now is to repel a planetary invasion that is currently in progress. And when she means planetary invasion, she's talking about extraterrestrials or aliens or whatever the phenomena, ETs.
Correct.
Currently in progress on an what does that mean, planetary invasion? Like, what do you think that means exactly? Like,
Well, I think it's exactly no matter how hyperbolic that language is, she repeated that language 3 times to me. And then she sent me she sent me the follow-up one when I asked her to clarify, and I'm glad you brought this question up because we're leading right into it. She said, I wouldn't exactly call it, you're sitting down, right? I wouldn't exactly call it an invasion or attack. It seems more like an acquisition of valuable resources, i.e., the Earth and all it contains. Okay. Now, I want to go back to
wow.
a guest that all of your viewers seem to respect a lot, Danny Sheehan. What did Danny Sheehan? What was Danny Sheehan's analogy of what is happening in the past 70 years? And I love Danny Sheehan. Talked to him on the phone, and I love it that he is bringing this up, not me. Danny Sheehan said, "It seems to me that a foe is preparing a battlefield, in so much as terrain mapping, species identification." I'm reading what type of weaponry their opponent has and what type of tactics their opponent will use during the course of a battle. That was Danny Sheehan describing his philosophy of what we've been seeing for the past 70 years. And anybody that's got any military background or anybody even that's got common sense, take your ego out of it, take the hyperbole out of it. What are we seeing here? No one's being attacked. No buildings are being blown up. We have human beings that are taken, examined, maybe getting ovum and semen extracted for their own nefarious use. We're hovering over nuclear missile silos, right? We're hovering over Army, Air Force bases. We are doing incursions with fighter jets to see possibly what their capability is. We have seen the lights coming down from the UFO, mapping terrain, or I guess, or covering terrain. Is Danny Sheehan way off base here? Is this woman way off base? If I was a military guy, I would totally conclude that Danny Sheehan's synopsis of what is going on for the past 70 years is totally correct. This is preparing the battlefield of some kind. What kind of battle it is, I don't know. Battle for our mind, battle for our loyalty, battle for our resources, I don't know. And I hope your viewers appreciate my candor. I don't know. But I think Danny
Sure.
Sheehan's right.
Okay, let me ask you a few questions. First of all, can we read that response you just read before? The thing you pulled up and read just a second ago about the
Sure.
invasion or what she meant by
Sure.
that.
Right.
Because
When
that
I
was
said, can you
interesting.
clarify the invasion?
Yeah.
She said, I wouldn't exactly call it an invasion or attack. It seems more like the acquisition of valuable resources, i.e. the earth and all it contains.
Okay.
And
And
look at history. What have the human species done throughout history? We have traversed to other continents, other lands, and we have taken, what have we taken, folks? What do we? Yeah, gold, silver, women, animals, cloth, boats, vegetables, everything that we have done. Danny Sheehan and this woman are saying they're probably to some degree doing that also, and just getting ready for what is on this planet to prepare them for a repulsion or to protect themselves in some sort of incursion. So says she and Danny Sheehan. And I don't mean to keep bringing him up, but I think he's
no, no.
I think he's on the
Yeah.
money here, and your viewers
Sure.
respect him, and I respect that too.
Sure. Okay, well said. All right. So
Thank you.
let me ask you this.
Mhm.
Let's assume this is real, okay? And DARPA, knows about this invasion coming. So they are preparing weapons to battle this. Is that why DARPA's in the know? And how does this woman know? Was she on this team, or what involvement did she have in DARPA that would give her access to this knowledge?
Okay. From my opinion, from reading her letters and her working with DARPA, it seems to be that she was rubbing shoulders with the periphery of this phenomenon. And I gave the example to someone. She's an master's of electronics engineering. She actually holds a couple of patents. One is for the space shuttle. I don't know what system. It doesn't matter at this point. But if you have a DARPA scientist in your cohort group, I can't believe I thought of that word. Cohort group. It's very scientific for an idiot like me. If you have a DARPA scientist in your cohort group saying, well, Jill, that would really be a defensive application to repel the kids or whatever, vernacular they give for extraterrestrials, kids being one of them. I would think that she would say, oh, this isn't for China. This isn't for Russia. This is for, something exoplanetary. So that's my opinion. And that she did work with inside DARPA, rub shoulders, and she must have been on the periphery of this phenomenon. And going back to, well, what is DARPA creating? I will go back to other ufologists because they're far more smarter than me. So let's think about this. Dr. Stephen Greer, whatever you think of him, I think he's the Wikipedia of ufology. What has he said for 10 years? He was told by two different people in the military that there is an assembly line of biohybrid robots rolling off an assembly line for something. Some kind of biohybrid robotic soldier being developed on an assembly line, probably that's a little hyperbolic, for
Wow.
something.
Like chicken nuggets?
That's
This is
right.
crazy.
That's Stephen Greer.